But what if all the stuff on your to-do list is not intended to be completed, or it's not even intended to be completed by you? Calling all professional neurodiverse mamas seeking to reclaim their time, energy, and focus. I have a special invitation for you. The Simplified Schedules Mini-Course will help you to uncover the top 3 things your neurodiverse brain needs to slay your day and reduce overwhelm instantly. This is the one mini course you need to get your life together without quitting your job or leaving your family. You'll also be able to leave this course with an actionable plan to create that flow and freedom you so desperately deserve. So if you're ready to learn, take action, and create flow, then you can learn more at thecharmedlife.me/simplified me. Make sure to download your copy, tell a sister friend, and I'll see you there. Welcome to We Ain't Normal. My name is Charmaine Fuller, and I'm an everyday mom sharing how I navigate my ADHD brain. Each week, we share tools, inspiration, and resources to help you uncover how to reclaim your time, energy, and focus. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Now on to our show. What's up? So today we are talking about not finishing all the things. I don't know about you, but my entire life was built on finishing all the things. And a lot of the times, still now, right? My brain gets really excited in the beginning. I am stoked. I am going to do it all. I am going to run through it. I have a plan in my head, and boom, bam, pow. I lose interest. And the dopamine rush is gone. Now I know that's the dopamine rush. It's gone. I'm not as connected to it, especially if it was something I was never really connected to it, especially if it was like a people-pleasing type of deal. I would definitely like bow out like midstream. And so I would get labeled as uncommitted, lazy. You know, she's got so much potential, but she could really move further. But oh my gosh, throw me up some virtual hands in the air if you feel me. And so much emphasis is placed on finishing things. It's placed on our worth being tied up in finishing, not on being present. And I don't know about your neurodiverse brain, but my neurodiverse brain is always future casting. And so focusing on finishing for me and focusing on the end game sometimes can be a very fine sliver of wire. Not the strong shit, but that, you know, that 50-cent yarn. I mean, not yarn, but thread that you used to get from like Joann Fabrics that like maybe it could do a sock, but it wasn't going to keep it strong. And sometimes that can be a real slippery slope, even for me, even though I know, and I've said a lot, you know, focus on the end game. I want to clarify some things as we move forward because it's tough out here in these neurodiverse streets and trying to navigate, you know, not only your own neurodiversities, whatever they may be, but most of us have kids that are also neurodiverse and probably spouses that if they're not neurodiverse, they can just sometimes be damn interesting. And helping you to release the pressure of trying to finish it all. I can remember I used to make these insane to-do lists. And when I say insane, girl, I mean insane. Like I would get up well, first of all, let's start with this. I couldn't sleep. I was having stress seizures. So I would go to bed sometimes at a respectable time, but then I would wake up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, I would be sick and then I would have to go back to sleep. And then I would have to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get the kids ready for school and to do all the things. So I was never really getting good sleep or never really getting enough sleep. And so my day was packed. Like every corner of time was accounted for. Every corner of time. 9 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, there was no space. I used to feel like if there was space, then I wasn't being productive. And if I wasn't being productive, then I wasn't useful. And if I wasn't useful, then I wasn't enough. And there was a lot of that. And here's the gag about the to-do list. I would pack it in tighter than a sardine can. And I would say maybe one or two things off of there. Maybe I'm being generous. One thing off the list got accomplished. And everything else just kind of got lost in the sauce. I would get really distracted. I would start off on a task, and in the middle of doing that task, I would remember something else. And then I would kind of go down this other little vein of things to do. And then I would splinter off into something else. And before you knew it, it was time to pick the kids up from school. And before you knew it, it was time for dinner. And before you knew it, it was like time to do something else, right? And I know how it feels to feel like you don't have any focus at all and that you have no discipline, and beating yourself up and trying to force yourself up by staying up late at night trying to get it all done. But what if all the stuff on your to-do list is not intended to be completed, or it's not even intended to be completed by you? Trying to force your brain into this box of perfect checklist and crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's is stressful. Even for neurotypical people, it's stressful. But for those of us whose brains oftentimes have this really weird struggle of trying to fit in, just in general, trying to make sure that everything, that we're not viewed as failures, or we're not seen as dropping the ball. We want to be good mom, wife, et cetera, that a lot of the times what we are attempting to do is just insane. Have you ever started a course or a program that's going to help you organize something or put something together? You get really excited. You put all the calls and things in your calendar. You download all the worksheets, like you are super stoked, right? Your brain takes a hard left, your interest goes on to something else, and you beat yourself up. I want you to leave with 3 tools that are going to help you not get so overwhelmed with everything. So the first thing I want to invite you to do is get clear. And, like I said earlier in this episode, let's start thinking of things in short-term spaces. This is not to say that you don't have a 5-year plan. This is not to say that you don't have any other vision for your life, that you just plan on being in the same space that you're in for the rest of your life and doing nothing else. But I really want to invite you to start clearing up your life in these short-term sprints. When I do consulting sessions, I have my clients look at the next 30 days. And you might say, why would I spend time with you just to look at my next 30 days? Because most of the time, you have already analysis paralysis your way over the 90, 180, 365. You've already set and done spreadsheets and worksheets and checklists and all these things to try to create the perfect outcome. See, the ADHD brain likes sameness in some respects. The more you know, the less anxiety it produces. The more clear you are, the less anxiety it produces. However, getting clear is anxiety producing, because now you have to think of all the steps, and it's like this evil little circle. The clearer you are, the less anxiety you have. But in order to get clear, you have to go through some anxiety to get to the points of clarity. It's just weird. But in order to make that easier, I want to invite you to get clear, but just get clear in smaller sprints. You don't have to try to plan out your next year. Girl, start with your next week. The second thing that I want to invite you to do is simplify. What's yours? What's not yours? What can you delegate? Where do you need to enforce boundaries? Because I know you're really good at setting boundaries, but where do you need to enforce them bitches at? What boundaries have you already set with either yourself or someone else that you're just not enforcing? simplify that, bust it down. And that's going to help to make that clarity list. It's going to take that clarity list down even further. Once you start taking some of that stuff off, you'll be like, oh, don't need to do this. Oh, this can wait. This can go here. The other piece is creating some form of a system habit for yourself, whether that's going to be learning how to block your time, organizing it in a way that works for your brain. You don't have to finish it all. You don't. Most of the stuff you're doing is probably not even yours to begin with. And I really want to give you that permission to give yourself that breath. I really want to give you the permission to see that you're not fucking it up. I really want you to take the breath to see that you really are doing your best and to see that you really do finish things. I want to invite you to celebrate what you do finish. No matter how small you might think it is, no matter how much you think that it's just something that you're supposed to do because you're a mom and that's what moms are supposed to do. Whatever, whether it's cooking, you finish dinner, right? I finished dinner tonight. I cooked and finished dinner. Go me. Or you finish grocery shopping or you finish your grocery list. Whatever that is, I want you to celebrate what you do finish because sometimes you're just not meant to finish it all. So that's all I want you to walk away from today is knowing you don't need to finish it all. Creating that space and grace for your life that allows you the space to just breathe and be, but still get epic shit done. So I want to thank you for joining Just Me today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it freed you to see your life a bit differently. Make sure to check out those show notes in the description for a full rundown of today's episode with all the important links and resources. If you want weekly exclusive episodes with me personally, make sure to sign up for my Simplify My Life newsletter. I'd love to know what you enjoyed about this episode, so leave a review to let me know how I can continue to support you. So mama, I want you to know you're doing much better than you think. You're further than you believe, and you're worthy to have it all. So until next time, stay weird and keep doing you, babe. Coming up next time on the We Ain't Normal show.
I got tired of being anxious all the time. I got tired of what anxiety was doing to me and what it was doing to my kids. It was making my kids fidgety. It was making my kids be on edge, like, oh, mommy's on edge. So now we're on edge. And seeing that really kind of broke my heart. And so I was like, Avi, I need to reel it back in.
Want more of this episode? Make sure your podcast notifications are on and you're a part of the We Ain't Normal family by going to thecharmedlife.show to get weekly podcast updates and notifications. I'll see you there.